Right? What would happen for Rome is they would give you income for life, and that's how pensions came about down the road. So then financial companies said, hey, why don't we make this a product that other people can invest into, right? Where they can, get started and put this money away for these employees. And one day these employees, when they stop working for this company, they will have, retirement, 80% of their income replaced, 90% of their income replaced. But the biggest problem today, guys, is that pensions, they transition. In 1981, when they introduced the 401k plans, more money went into the stock market that year than went into banking because everybody started putting money away for retirement. And the reason the government came out with the 401k was they're like, we need these baby boomers, 80 million people, 76 million people, when they stop working, we need them to still contribute taxes to the economy. So how do we solve our tax problem? Because if the largest group of people that is working and contributing and paying taxes stops working, what do we do? And so they said, well, let's make a tax deferred retirement plan where, we can give them a break now, a little bit of their wages, but later they'll go ahead and pay taxes on all of it. Mm-hmm. And they introduced the 401k. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't know is that their pension is also taxable. Their 401k is also taxable. Their Social Security is taxable. A portion of it's taxable, depending on their income. And so, but what happened when they started introducing 401ks is they started getting rid of pensions. And what happened at that point was the education on how to plan, how to save, how to prepare for retirement. It wasn't passed on to people. They were never educated on it, mm-hmm. And we think that things have been around forever, but they really haven't, guys. Just 100 years ago, 150 years ago, people had land, they paid off their home, they grew their own fruits and vegetables and had their own cows. And that's how they took care of themselves. And then when we stopped doing those things, we really need financial services now to do that for us, since we don't have cows, and some of you maybe have cows depending where you live. But that we're not going to, go out there and do that part. So people aren't prepared. And that's the biggest thing, that people are not prepared. They don't know their FIN number. I tell people FIN is your financial independence number. How much you need to have at a certain age with inflation and taxation factored in, right? What your income is at a desired age, right? How much, at what age, with inflation and taxation factored in. And when you do that number for people, it's shocking. It really is. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Share. Okay. Share. And I'm going to talk about the importance of it real quick. Let's just do a simple example. Okay. We'll get a calculator here. Let's say somebody says, I want to retire with $4,000 a month, right? And I need $48,000 a year. Before tax or after tax? After tax. I'm not a tax person, so you can't start giving tax advice, but I always multiply it by 140%. That's $67,000. Because if they get 70% of that, it's going to be around $48,000. So now I have this number, 67,000. What I haven't figured out is how many years I plan on being retired. So if the average person is going to be retired for 20 years, right? It's too much money, but let's do this here. Times 20 years, that's $1.3 million today, right? And then we talk about inflation factored in. Let's go here and I'll show you guys something. Move this. I use it often. If you Google inflation calculator, it shows you, it's the first one that pops up, bls.gov. You just simply put in how much you need, right? So I need $1.3 million, $1,344,000, okay? And let's say I'm 45 today and I want to retire at 65. So I have 20 years. So I'm going to go back 20 years. 20 years ago was 1998, and we hit calculate. So now, guys, that's $2 million that I need to save or have in my investment account. And it's so important. If you don't start saving now, that gets harder and harder and harder to do. One of the things that maybe we can do on another training is Mark Molina has a little annuity investment calculator, and it shows kind of how much they'd have to save. But I want to show the need that exists first. You guys have $4,000 a month for a 45-year-old 20 years from now, they're going to need $2 million. And if they're not saving enough, they're not going to hit that number. And so that's the problem, is before this income was provided through a pension, now it's provided through your own plan. And you need to make sure you save enough and that you don't take out too much too fast when that time comes. So that's where annuities help. People can save more for retirement. And then once they start to retire, they can draw income, guaranteed income, depending on the plan, for the rest of their life. And that is the big part of annuity. It's similar to a pension. And a lot of people say, well, I have a pension. Most people that have a pension don't understand where their pension is. I'm going to show you here. S&P 500, pensions underfunded. Okay, this is how simple it is. The top 500 companies in the world, around 300 of them offer a pension. And only around 18 of them have enough money in their pension. So when you look here, Intel, for example, this is how much they have, this is how much they owe. So they only have 46% of what they owe thousands of employees. So it's no longer a problem that, number one, most employers don't offer pensions. But number two, it's the people that do have a pension that most of the time their pension isn't funded correctly. We have a gentleman, Fred and Alexander, from works with Don in Ohio. And when he left GM after 35 years, he said, we're roughly going to give you 35% of your pension. And he talks about it. After 35 years, you only get 35%. So the benefit of doing an annuity is, one, it can be your main source or supplement. Somebody has a 401k, we always advise for them to put in as much as the company will match. But it could be a source of retirement for people. It could be a supplemental retirement for people. But the nice part is that people can be clear and sure and certain on what they're going to receive in income per month. And that's the biggest benefit of an annuity, is I can have a stream of income for the rest of my life that I will never outlive. And depending how I take income from it will depend on whatever I don't use goes to my family or my beneficiaries. And so they're really, really amazing vehicles from a security, a safety, a peace of mind standpoint. And I'm not talking about how I do the annuity presentation today. That is on our PHP Education back office. You also have John Mason's Divine 9 back there. Those are two great presentations for you to go learn from. So if you haven't gone on PHP Education under sales and looked at the annuity section, I would highly recommend that part. But I'm talking about more the need of why they exist. And I'm going to tell you that it's not just that these pensions are underfunded. We really have to do a better job ourselves. Social Security is underfunded. If Social Security doesn't change by 2034, that's 15, 16 years from now, if Social Security doesn't change, they are going to have to reduce the benefits by 21%. And I want you to think about the person that's receiving Social Security right now. Average Social Security payment is $1,180. First of all, can you live on $1,180? I can't. I don't want to live on $1,180, right? But to reduce that by 21%. So we can't count on Social Security. We can't count on pensions. And that's one of the biggest issues that we need to train our clients, educate our agents on, is that we need to teach them that they can't count on Social Security. They can't count on a pension. What they can count on is themselves and yourself helping them get there. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, okay, is if by the way, just so you know this, if we don't make some changes, we have around $21 trillion of debt right now as a country, guys. If we don't make some changes by 2027, we're going to have $40 trillion of debt as a country. So the only way to pay off debt is bring in more revenue, and for the country, that's taxes. So at some point, they're going to have to raise taxes. So you can set this up. You can set up an annuity also as a Roth index annuity if it's something that's a new account for somebody, to where their money will grow tax-free, come out tax-free after 59 and a half. So there's different ways of setting this up. If it's new money, you could set it up as a non-qualified, qualified. You could set it up as an IRA, Roth IRA. If it's money that's coming over from another plan, it has to be registered where it's coming from. So if it's coming from a 401k, it's got to go into an IRA. If it's coming from a Roth, it can go into a Roth. But there's a big need, guys, for people to save enough and save in the right accounts. That's number one, right? Number two, let's talk about how annuities kind of work. The benefit, the biggest benefit, and you have to keep things very simple with people. There's three places we can put our money. Somewhere fixed, where it's safe, but it doesn't grow. Somewhere variable, where it grows, but it's not safe. Or number three is a hybrid of the two, which we refer to as fixed index annuities. In terms of being a hybrid, number one, it's safe. Number two, when the market goes up, you get a portion of the gain. And you would say, well, why is that important? Because I'm going to tell you, I went back and I studied the stock market so that we could be prepared for this call today. And since 1901, okay, there's been specifically 29 market crashes. Okay, that doesn't mean 29 downs. That means 29 drastic downs, 29 of them. Okay, and a lot of that has to do with when people are investing in the market. Since we recovered from 2008, 2009 is positive, 10 is positive, 11 is positive, 12 is positive, 13 is positive, 14 is positive, 15 is positive, 16 is positive, 17 is positive. We've had 9 straight positives. Can you guys hear me okay? Because it says internet connection unstable. Can you hear me okay? Okay, perfect. So 9 straight positives. Guys, anything that goes up, 9 times has to what? Come down. And that's honestly what I explain to my clients. I say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, there's 3 places we can put our money, right? Fixed, variable, or a hybrid of the two. And I say, we can make a lot of money in the stock market. The challenge is when you're investing. Have you ever heard the concept of buy low, right? Sell high? They say, yeah, I've heard that. Have you ever heard the concept of buy high and sell it when it's low? No. So today, if you're in the market and the market crashes, what most people do is they're going to sell when it's low. And now they're going to lose a lot of money. So if we could put you in an account where we could protect everything you have, all the gains you've made, your balance, and at the same time, if it grows, you'll still capture a percentage of that growth. But if it does crash, if it does correct, not if, when, because again, anything that goes up 9 times has to what? They say come down, right? When it does, you'll be protected, right? If we could do that for you, is that something you'd be open to? If the market was to crash today, these are great questions to ask people. If the market was to crash today, how much money do you feel comfortable losing due to market fluctuation? How much money do you feel comfortable losing due to market fluctuation? See, I didn't know a lot about savings or investments or insurance or mutual funds or stocks, guys, when I first got started in business. And I learned how to build my presentation around the product and the benefit of what it did. And so simple questions I would ask people when I'd sit with them, I'd say, hey, what's your investment philosophy? And that's a great question to ask people because it really gives you a position of professionalism. Right? What's your investment philosophy? And then they're going to say, what do you mean? Are you in, fixed accounts, variable accounts, real estate? What do you do? And they're going to say, well, I have a 401k in the market. And you say, okay, are you familiar with fixed, variable, and index? No, I'm not. Okay, well, let's talk about it. And then I'd go into explaining, and I'd do the presentation that's on PHP Education. Very simply put. Yes, ma'am. Not yet. Almost done. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah, max. So then once you do the presentation, it's very simple for them to see the benefit of why an index annuity makes so much sense. But that's one thing I want to talk about is people's retirement protected? Guys, the market's been up 9 straight years. It's not if. It's going to correct. It's going to correct. And a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. And the example that we give people is if you have $100 and you lose 50%, how much do you have? We say $50, right? Now, if you have $50, what interest rate do you have to earn to get back up to $100? If you lost 50%, you have to earn what? And most people are going to say 50%, but that's not the real number. The real number is 100%. You have to earn 100% to get back up to 0. So does it make any sense to -1 to earn 2 to get back to 0? -1 plus 2 to equal 0. Doesn't make sense. And so how much money do you feel comfortable losing due to market fluctuation? That's really how simple it is, guys. I want to talk about these last couple points. There's never been a better time for you Okay, there's 4 points I want to talk about, and I've already addressed one of them before. The timing of where we are as a company, the timing of where we are as an industry, and the timing of where you are. Okay, so number one, all baby boomers, 76 million baby boomers right now, are between 53 to 72 years old. Guys, that's prime retirement age. Okay, that's prime retirement age. And a lot of these boomers are working till 67, 68 so they can max out their Social Security. So you have a good 14 years before some of these people start receiving Social Security. But we also already have some that are starting to retire. And it's important for us to make sure that their retirement is balanced. So there's a simple rule. It's called age 100. It says if you take 100 and you minus the person's age, it equals the percentage that they should be in the market, right? So if I'm 60, right, 100 minus 60, let's say that's 40% in something growth, right? But 60% should be protected. 65, if I'm 65, 100 minus 65, 35%. 65 should be protected, right? So there's plans that we can put people in to protect and still grow their money. So you got to understand that you're at the right time with the baby boomers. You're at the right time with the baby boomers approaching retirement. Number one, like you couldn't get into an industry where 76, 78 million people, not including tens of millions that migrated that aren't in that number. It's, at one point we would talk about 50 million migrated. That's 126 million people in retirement age, guys. So we're not talking about all these people, but just 76 million baby boomers. And you chose to get into an industry when they are retiring at a time where the stock market's about to see a correction. And you can protect a lot of people's last 30, 40 years for a second. Minus the training, guys, just think about this for a second. We could protect 30, 40 years of work. These people have worked hard for 30, 40 years. How many school plays did they miss? How many games did they miss? How many family dinners did they miss? How many Saturdays, Sundays, weeknights did they miss? Just to be able to one day retire. And can you imagine that just because somebody didn't teach them, somebody didn't educate them, that they lose 20, 30, 40% of their retirement and they got to work another 5 years when they were only going to maybe live for another 12? What we do is really needed. It's very needed. So 1 is the baby boomers. 2 is the stock market. We talked about that. 3 is the financial services industry. It's never been smaller with a greater need. And I know you know that, but do you really know that? Do you really know that? When you're in a supermarket and you're walking around 100 people out of all those people, I guarantee you most of them don't know about Social Security and pensions and savings and investments and what's going to happen. They don't, right? And so there's a need for more of us to be able to help and educate, but also bring more agents in. And then the last one is the entrepreneur movement. I was talking to one of my guys yesterday, Guillermo Cordova, who was referred through Lorenzo Godinez to our office. And Guillermo said, man, I'm so excited, but not just for right now. I'm so excited for the next 2, 3 years, 5 years. I said, why? He says, because it's about to be an entrepreneurial war, right? I said, what do you mean? He says, it's about to be an entrepreneurial war. Like everybody's going to want to become an entrepreneur. And they're all going to, because they're understanding being an employee is not it. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And so all these people are looking to say, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I need support. I need help. I need direction. I need to know what business to get into. We just got off the plane right now and I meet the guy and I said, hey, nice chains. I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he says, oh, I run my own clothing company. Right. And I said, oh, that's awesome, man. He says, yeah, I love being a firefighter. I just want to be an entrepreneur. I just want to be an entrepreneur. Right. And so many people want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't know what or how. And we give them a chance to do that. We do trainings like this. We give them systems. We give them an opportunity, an office, mentorship, coaching, field training. Like, it's amazing what we do for people. I wouldn't be where I'm at, guys, if it wasn't for Patrick and all the support I got from all my trainers in the office at that time. So, but those are the 4 components that are making this a very special time to be in the industry. You really couldn't be in the industry at a better time. I'm more excited than ever about what we're about to do as a company. Our next convention, when you see 9,000, 10,000 people show up, our next convention after that, when you see 17, 18, 20,000 people show up, when we put 30, 40,000 people in a stadium, like, you understand, like, we're going to do that. And we're in the right industry at the right time with actually the right company. And that was something that people would say back in the day, like, you're at the right place, you're at the right time, you're with the right people, and you're with the right company. But that's not true. That's PHP. You're in the best place. And so Anita has sent me Anita has sent me, there's a lot of little babies around here. Anita has sent me a couple questions that I want to just answer quickly. Let's see here. And number one was, can annuities be used for anything besides retirement? College funds, future business, or even long-term goals? So you cannot use an annuity. Annuities are deferred retirement plans, guys. So people aren't going to be able to access the money in these plans until they're over 59 and a half without a penalty. Okay? They won't be able to access that money until 59 and a half. So it can't be used for college. Now, there are some annuities that have disability. There are some annuities that have disability riders, or long-term care riders, where meaning if the person becomes disabled, it can double their income if they are disabled in retirement. And so you want to look into different products. But most annuities are going to be used for retirement, or it could be used for people that are older and they have money and they want to pass it on to their kids or to their grandkids, right? They can also do that and set up the annuity, and they could be the owner, but the annuitant can be one of their kids or one of their grandkids. But most of them are going to be for retirement. And then question number two, when did you lose your fear of selling annuities? I will tell you, it was my first month ever making $18,000 when I did my annuity. I get off this client's house. He's got $500,000 in a 401k. He's about to retire. And this is a true story. And he's about to retire. And I get off and I just pray. I'm like, God, if this is the right thing for him and it's going to help his family, let today be successful. I was so nervous. I walk in, I do the little presentation, my little boxes. And he says, I love it. Let's do it. I said, well, how much do you want to move? Because he was talking about doing 100,000. He says, all of it. I'm like, and I can't freak out, right? Because I can't freak out. I'm a professional here. So $500,000. So I'm like, yeah, that's normal. Okay, yeah, most people say that once they see how the plan works, they want to do the whole thing. So yeah, we'll move that over. And so we start to do it. We were only able to move 300 of it, but I literally get out of the car and I'm like, oh my God, like I did this. It's probably going to cancel. He's going to change his mind. Something's going to go wrong. See, I was so not used to believing that I could make that kind of money because I never made that kind of money. I'd never made 13, 14, 15, 16,000 bucks in an hour. And it changed my life, guys. I mean it. I'm not even playing with you. It changed my life. When that paid out, I was on the phone with Patrick. He says, you'll never struggle financially again as long as you put a little bit of this away, right? You're going to start making some big money now, George. 6 months before that, my bank account was negative $600. That's when we started PHP. June was a $26,000 month, and a big part of that was because of annuities. And that's where my fear went away. I said, you know what? It doesn't matter how much money somebody has. The benefit's the same. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to show what I do, how I do it. And if it's beneficial, great. And if it's not, great too. But I'm not going to stress out over it. I'm just going to go do my best. And that's when the fear went away. The field training altogether said, I'm going to just go teach people. I'm going to go teach people. That's what I'm going to do. And those that want help, I'm going to help. And guys, today, I don't know how many millions of dollars we rolled over and through, personally and through our team, but it's nothing compared to what we're going to do. I'm telling you right now, some of you guys are going to roll over $1 million, $500,000, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million a year. Some of you guys are like, yeah, that's me. That's what's up. I like that. And you may have a year where just $300,000, $400,000, $600,000 of your income is just from annuities, and helping your people do that. And so when you do top 25 lists, make sure you're asking who's retiring, who do you know that's approaching retirement, who do you know that has a 401k. When you're field training, ask these questions. So anyways, guys, we got to run. Anita, is there anything else you want me to cover? I know you said 20, 25 minutes. I tried to keep the time. And
man, I'm so excited. It's crazy that you're sitting there at Enterprise doing this training for us. So we're excited. Thank you so much for all the value you delivered. And let everybody know, guys, what George just covered is priceless. The 4 reasons, closing questions, even guided us. Guys, the presentation is in the back office. The training is there for us. And you sold me the dream, George. I mean, we are in the right time, the right place, and I'm so fired up to do this all with you guys. So thank you so much for your time. And I'm excited to see you here at home office here in a little bit. But guys, hey, this is being recorded. It will be available for 24 hours. We have created a YouTube channel and we will be sending you guys the link for the recording. So please tell everybody that it's fine. I understand because we maxed out. We maxed out at 100 participants which is awesome. But we will have it available so that the people who missed it got to hear from George's wisdom. But those of you that got on and got on live, I know you got it a little differently. So proud of you guys. Let's do something big. Let's get to that $1 million annuity circle. Make sure you remember the contest is going and we get double credit for apps submitted in August. So all of them count, small or big, you're going to get double credit. So if you have questions, comments, make sure you follow on Facebook and Instagram. We have PHP Annuities as the account name. That's where I'm getting all these announcements. All that stuff will be sent there. That's how we will communicate, most of us, because there are so many of us. So let's make sure we're staying in touch. And then, of course, you guys can reach me directly. You have my cell phone number if you have any questions, anything I can do. But let's do this in a big, big way. So proud of you guys for being on the call. Thank you guys so much. And we will see you again. We'll do this next month. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.